I'm Marcel.
And I'm Westin. We have a great special with a live doc starting with Lost Culture, Subways, and Jazz.
Oh my.
Some great stuff going on here.
So, without further ado, let's take a look at some fourth semester Centennial students.
Our first documentary takes us underground into the world of subway musicians. We hear them every day.
And which one are we going to start with today, Westin?
Well, we're going to take a look at a documentary that takes us into the world of subway musicians.
Subway musicians.
Yep. We hear them every day on our commute, but we have no idea who they are.
I don't know who they are.
Sometimes we love them, sometimes we ignore them. But let's check out Sean's doc. It's the Southbound song, Who is Daniel Huezo?
Every day is a new adventure here in the TTC subway, musicians. Well, first of all, there is a schedule for every single spot that we play at. We don't have to follow the schedule. So in order to get the good spots, we have to come early in the morning to get, like, especially Young and Blue, like really early, like even before the doors are open for publics. Daniel Huezo, wow. I didn't even study for that kind of question, my friend. I started playing music since I'm 4 years old. Professionally, I started when I was 15. I play in the symphonic orchestra in El Salvador, from El Salvador. If I try to get a job doing something else, I can, because I know my resume, I cannot do anything else, But I also love to cook. I love to cook. I'm telling you that I was a dishwasher somewhere, and then I was working my way up, line cook. But then I heard my hand, and music is first, so I decided just to stop that and just cook at home for my son. I have a little boy, 6.5. And divorce, and and I will always say that, she didn't have money to give me, so she threw herself on my case. So, and I go like, okay, in the end, she's the mother of my son, the most important woman that I have ever met in my life. Business. Like sometimes it's really, 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 really good. Sometimes it's really, 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 really bad. What it makes the difference is the consistency of you playing or you working. Like at the end of the week, at the end of the month, that's what I would say make the difference of how much money you really make. I promote my CDs. I get tips. I will not be able to tell you exactly how much I make. I made a lot of money over the years. I'm telling you, I made a lot of money. But also, sometimes I don't make almost nothing. What can you say? Like you see other musicians, other artists, like multimillionaires dealing with drugs and other stuff. So I don't think that money is actually the key of that. I think it helps, it helps when you can, you can get whatever you want, but I don't think that's the key of everything. Play your music, I would play here in the subway my music as the same that I would play for the King of England in the castle. It will not make a difference. I will bring the same guitar, I will wear a shirt like this, I will charge a little bit extra more if she want me to wear a tie, but that's it, it's the same thing, my music, I play at the same level here, or at the ACC, or the castle of, where the queen lives, like that. Just like that. Scotia, Halifax, private parties, weddings, birthday parties, funerals, divorces, all kinds of any social event that people invite me to play, I'll go. I have no problem whatsoever with it. And the music, believe it or not, it doesn't change. Same music.
Westin, you know what? That doc reminds me a lot of your busker story.
Oh yeah, it does. They're really similar, as in they're both buskers, but the fact is they have really different, unique stories. So, but can you answer me this question? What do you think it really means to go to university?
Waste of money for no job.
Well, just about nailed it. So our own Stephen Bodner explores this issue in the doc. I went to university and all I got was this freaking degree. Check it out.
I'm a York University graduate. There I studied history and education. I got a specialized honors BA in history and a bachelor's degree of education. I did that through their 3-year concurrent program. Right now I am working in member services at a rather wealthy social club downtown. Well, I mean, I applied for teaching. First of all, don't get the impression I didn't apply. I applied all over the place, didn't get anything through it, and there also weren't any openings at the places where I was doing my student teaching at either. So I applied to them, didn't get it. I also made the decision as I graduated that I would look into other kind of work as well, see what else I can get, what else is out there, not resign myself just to one path with no variant or no backup.
Well, my name is Izabela Sokolowska. I am finishing an honors double major in anthropology and communication studies at York University. I don't think I'm going to get a job in my field because ideally I'd like to be an anthropologist, but I need to do more school for that. I think I owe OSAP $20,000 still. Yeah. My life.
So how much do you think you spent on books?
Over $1,000 just on books. And course kits, probably another 500.
My name is Emmalee Bodner. I'm a grade 12 student at Applewood Heights Secondary School and I'm graduating this year. I plan on going to McMaster University in the fall to study social sciences, and I'm really looking forward to it. I am extremely stressed out in high school. I work as a supervisor at a movie theater. I make about $10.50 an hour, so pretty close to minimum wage.
In retrospect, I wish I did college first. Maybe did some sort of like 2-year program and something, just so I could have gotten more of a hands-on job that paid better, so I didn't have to do bullshit retail jobs for 5 years that paid minimum wage.
I think it's important to go to university because, I don't know.
I would say the university gives you the ability to think and critically think and think critically about your own thinking. And that is a byproduct of your university education.
Because the thing with university is that people always think that you need to go into it right away and you need to continue it consistently throughout all your years, and that's a big lie. You can do it part-time, you can do it a year after you graduate, you can do it 2 years after you graduate. There's so many options. But I'm glad I did it. Yeah, I don't regret doing it.
$20,000 to OSAP? Jeez.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. A lot of money for nothing, eh?
And the chicks for free, hopefully. Anyways, now, Westin, we have a double feature.
Really?
Yes,
Double
we're going to see another one of Steve Bodner's docs.
Awesome.
It takes place on the corner of Queen and Bathurst.
Wow.
Let's take a look.
Ten words to describe the Big Bop. I don't know if I can count to 10, but let's try. 1 would be chaos.
Launchpad. Insanity. Am I allowed to swear? In amazing times.
Crust.
Drunks.
Paramedics.
Fun.
A lot of work in all ages.
The Big Bop started in '85, early '80s, as a DJ nightclub, and it was the place to go to in the late '80s. But then in the '90s, other nightclubs popped up in the district, in the DJ district. So since the Big Bop was a little outside of downtown, they went under or whatever. So we came in, we took it over in '96 and converted it from a DJ nightclub into a live venue. And we had these ideas of bringing big bands there, but we couldn't really compete against the more established live venues. So what we did was, whenever we did shows, we were doing all ages.
It was key. It was a key part of our scene because when I started going there, I was like 14, and that opened my eyes to so many opportunities and so many sick bands at the time. So many people. It was a sense of community at that age. You're all growing up together. If that wasn't there, as I was saying before, like I don't know what I'd be doing right now, like straight up.
Even though it was a lot harder to run, to maintain, and everything else because of kids and all ages, and we had to watch our license and everything else. That was basically what we had to do, and that's why a lot of kids, 14, 15, whatever, got attracted to the Big Bop, because there was a place for them to play. There was a venue for them to go and play.
One after all those kids out on the street, bring back the year. One after all those new friends that you meet, bring back the year. With a look time, you can't find them anywhere. Bring back the year.
It was a disgusting, awesome place. And all the places around here were sort of like that. Even the bank across the street was closed. It was like, today it's a Starbucks. God forbid, we need another Starbucks across from a Starbucks, but, they're selling tables out of what used to be the goddamn place that I played in. It's the whole destruction of our culture.
I drive down that street, and I can't believe it is what it is. It's a complete 180, and I almost have to get the crust out of my eyes. I can't believe it. That it is what it is now. I mean, it's a complete change, and it's definitely sad to see it go. I've never been in that furniture store. I don't know if they're successful, but I don't know. I think it would have been more successful if it was still the Big Bop.
I love the way the CB2 looks. I think it looks f***ing great. That building probably by now would have fallen over and somebody would have gotten hurt if it was still open. I mean, it was getting to the point where the amount of money that would have had to have gone in to make the place a viable venue still wasn't going to be available for the fact that, for all the nostalgia that people have about the place, last couple of years there weren't very well attended.
What do you think would need to be done in order to kind of restore an all-ages scene?
I don't know.
Everyone's waiting for someone else to do something. No one's ready to be that person that's like, hey, I'm gonna be that guy to change it and bring it back. Because there's opportunities, there's venues in Toronto that we could do all ages and take it over, but it's a lot more, people are a lot more cautious nowadays when it comes to setting up shows and like turning like a venue into an all ages venue.
Because let's face it, the kids break in the drywall, they kick the doors in, they knock out the urinals. They're a pain in the ass, right? That's what punk rock kids do. That's what I did when I was their age. So. And the liability, the stage diving, all it takes is one kid to break his neck and then the venue's done.
Maybe it'll take Don getting something downtown again.
Queen is not the same. They pulled the Purple Heart right out of our city.
Oh, we go from rock to jazz.
So tell me something. You're obviously a fan of jazz music.
I am indeed. I don't mind me a little Miles Davis every once in a while, Weston.
Little Johnny Coltrane.
Oh, you know it, brother.
Little Charles Mingus. Man, I'm getting so riled up here. Let's
riled up.
Let's play as my dark modern jazz before I explode all over the stage. Let's play it.
I think the problem with the public perception of jazz is that I think people think they know what it is, but in fact it's as wide of a spectrum as saying rock music. Rock music can be really, really heavy, down-tuned guitars and lots of distortion, whatever stuff, but rock music can also be indie pop rock where it's sing-along, happy-go-lucky, toe-tapping songs. So people understand that about when you say rock music, it can have a wide range of meaning, but I think when people say the word jazz, that the general public doesn't realize that it is also its own spectrum. So realistically speaking, I think everyone would probably like something in the category of jazz.
Jazz is an incredibly artistic, creative art form, and we're very fortunate in Toronto to have so many talented and extremely well-educated musicians who have chosen jazz as their preferred means of expression. Brilliance shines through, even from this very modest stage, and we're finding that musicians who in another era might have been writing symphonies are now writing and playing and expressing themselves through jazz.
It is seen as being quite cerebral and being the intellectuals' music. So people who aren't musicians sometimes shy away from it because I don't know, there's a lot of feeling in a lot of jazz music for sure, but I think that people sometimes associate intellectualism with a lack of feeling. And in the end, I think the general public just wants to feel good or feel something or, whatever it is. So I think that for some people it would be pleasant background music, and for others, they would think it's not their bag.
And that soon thereafter it returns and feeling awful. You're gonna grumble, fix the inside, and the rest will.
I think that the lines between genres have blurred, and there's not as much they're not as set. I mean, look at my band, for instance. In the past, like we're just starting to get some more attention nowadays, which is really wonderful. But in the past, our stumbling block has been that, you know, we take some influence from jazz and we have some similarities with jazz, but we certainly have a singer-songwriter aesthetic about our music, and then we also have this undercurrent of rock music. But then there's groovy soul-like things, and it's not like, when you describe it like that, it sounds like I'm having an identity crisis, but when I'm writing this music, but it's not actually that. The songs, they just sound like complete songs of their own, you know. The lines between the genres aren't there anymore. So everyone has sort of this, everyone's taken in so much stimulus from so many different styles of music and so many different eras of music and so many different places in the world, and then, you know, it mulls about and they add to it their weird creative take, and then all of a sudden you get this product. And so I think that's what's happening in jazz as well as a bunch of other genres of music. So yes, I think there is a place for it in the future. I just think that it's becoming less of its own defined box. For people who are who say I don't like jazz off the top, or I don't want to play jazz or whatever, I would say to them that, you know, you'll probably be surprised and discover at some time that there is something which is filed under the jazz, you know, the jazz section of iTunes that you actually do like and you didn't realize was jazz. So I think, you know, just to be open-minded is good.
What's the chance to show you where I'm coming from? What I wanted is, what I always wanted is the thing that I don't have right now. What I'm hoping for, what I'm always hoping is to realize that what I have is what I need. But it's always hard, the grass is always greener on the other side. The other side.
You remember going to work with your dad ever?
No, because I didn't go with my dad. I went with my mom.
So you didn't have a dad?
Pretty much, no.
Oh, okay. Well, what it was like to hang out with your dad was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it wasn't fun with your mom, but anyways, I
was
get to
great.
skip school and go to his work. And you know what? We should take a look at Day with Dad.
When was yours? In the 80s?
Let's take a look at that doc, Westin.
Marcel?
6 years ago, I decided to follow my dad for Take a Kid to Work Day. Back then, all I did was sit on some lady's floor and pet her cat. So, now I've decided to try to follow him again to see if it gets any better. The day started with my dad being late, as always. Instead of getting me at 10:45, he got me at 11:30. I rode in the back of the truck, which he calls the cage or jail.
Tools.
Once we got to the job site, I felt like I was on a home improvement TV show.
So today we're going to be hanging a 27-inch TV, computer, all-in-one monitor on this wall, which has its challenges because it's covered in. Well, down here there's an outlet, and the outlets are always mounted to a side of a stud. So when I find the outlet, I can measure straight up from there and know that this stud's right there. We hit it. And we are inside the stone. Excellent. That didn't sound right. Now we gotta do is tighten it up with a wrench, and this TV is installed.
Around noon, my brother showed up to work with my dad. All he did that day was program the system, which isn't that interesting, so I'm not really going to dwell on that for very long.
Where's the reset button on this thing?
It's really some stupid button or setting in it.
I don't know how to look for it. Because to me it looks fine.
Once we finished at our first job site, my dad took me to another one, just so he could show off.
This whole keypad is running all the screens in this room. We have 2 video screens and a movie projection screen. And this room is used for conferences and for company meetings and presentations. So when we turn on the system, we can watch something. And if we want to watch it on the projector, we push that button right there. So what we have here is video conferencing system, where you have one screen that shows the people on the other side of the camera, and the other screen can show the room in here, or it can show a presentation from your computer. So we'll fire that up. You don't have to send somebody on an airplane to Geneva because that's where their other head office is, and you can actually have face-to-face meetings here in this office with people from anywhere in the world. This is the gym that Canada uses. So in here we have the equipment that delivers DVD, stereo, and videos to the television that's further down in the gym.
All in all, my second try at Take Your Kid to Work Day was still boring, but better than the last time.
Westin,
Yes?
I got a surprise for you.
What?
Busker story.
Aw, yeah. Let's play it.
Shaking all over. Probably started last year down on the beach, just in the hot days, like it was 36 Celsius down there, and I was out there on the beach where they're playing volleyball, and it was fun just to go and watch them play, and it was great. But you know, the coin wasn't very good. I was there to play, really. I was just there to play. My top dollar was $4. Like, people down there don't hand out money. I think they're very tight on the beach. Honestly, I'm serious. This is only my 7th time on Yonge Street. If you're lucky, you'll make 50, 60 bucks for a whole day, though. I don't have a job. I'm like 50 odd years old, and I had a brain tumor. It leaked. I'm on brain pills right now. I'm on brain pills. And my dad died, I ended up with the house, and the lawyer did not give me enough information. So I ended up on ODSP, right? ODSP, health benefits, ODSP. So the lawyer didn't give me enough money. Next thing I know, I'm on the street now, playing to just try and feed myself, my cat and my dog and I, honestly. I got like $3,000 worth of bills at home. I'm not gonna lie to you. At least three grand right now I gotta pay. Now how am I gonna pay house tax, land tax, you know, the taxes for the house, water and all this crap? You know how much I make? I make basically $500 a month. That's all I get. And that's not with ODSP at all, because I'm not on ODSP. I'm not on anything. Like, I know the system is hard. Like, it's a hard system, let's face it. Like, things are going wrong in it, but don't take people like me and shove them, you know, off to the side. I wouldn't have to do this. Right now I got a major headache anyway.
Well,
That's the show.
That pretty much wraps it up. You can tune in next time. You can rewatch it again on CentennialOnDemand.com. I'm Westin.
I'm Marcel.
Stay classy, Centennial.